my next cooking video, and today I'm going to show you how to cook a beef bone broth. Beef bone broth is super important because it serves as a base for any kind of food you want to make. It serves as a base for goulash, I showed you last time, risotto, different sauces, any gravy. So it is wide use in kitchen. So it's a really kind of cornerstone for your cooking, and that's why I'm going to show you how to cook a good proper one in the next 2 days. Yes, it takes kind of a long time, but don't worry, it's not that much work. Most of it is waiting. So here's what we need. First, we need some meat. It doesn't have to be any special meat. All you need really is scrap meat. It can be tails, it can be scrap meat from bones, and you definitely need some good marrow bones, some beef bones with, you know, piece from spine. This is marrow bone, white marrow. I've got some leftover from goose. I baked a week ago or so. So this actually won't cost you very much, but it's good quality meat and it will serve us very well for our purpose. So really the only thing you have to do now in the beginning is to preheat the oven at 200 degrees Celsius and put it in for 25 to 30 minutes. See you in that time. So it has been half an hour now, so I'm going to take it out of the oven. I hope nothing catches on fire this time. Oh, and would you look at that? This is perfect. This is brown, this is beautiful. Oh, I'm stupid. And now I'm going to put it all in this huge 14-liter pot. This is beautiful meat and bones, and it won't set you back much either. This is actually very affordable. This is a huge load of meat, but that's what's going to make my stock strong and hearty and tasty, and great base for any kind of sauces and other meals. I am also going to put in the fluid that got baked. It would be shame to waste it. I'll even clean it out. With hot water. Yes, scrape it a little bit around, so nothing goes to waste. We wouldn't want that. I even saved the skeleton from the goose I baked, I told you about, you know. So I'm going to put that into So you can see you can really utilize all kind of scraps meat from kitchen, and it's only going to make your broth better, stronger. It's the same thing with leeks actually. Whenever you use leeks in the kitchen, don't throw the green stuff out. You can store it, you can freeze it, and it's going to work great in the broth. You virtually can't put too much of it in it. All right, so then there's some celery, more leeks coming in. Some onion, carrots, and bay leaf. And now I only add water, a lot of it because this is a huge pot, but since this process is kind of lengthy, I want to make a lot of it. You know, I want to have enough for 2 months at least. Because it's not much work, but it's quite a lot of time that goes into it. So I always make a lot of it and then I store it in the freezer. I'm going to show you that at the end of the video. So that's why I bought this huge 40-liter pot. You can get even bigger. By the way, you don't add any spices or salt in it because this is the stock. The broth is not a meal on itself, it is a base ingredient. So you don't want any kind of salt or spices in it to determine the nature of food you are going to make from it. So don't add any of this, only the bay leaf, and you can add a little bit of parsley, but that's about it. The simplicity is the key here. This is a really big pot, that's why I like it. So I think it's full. So now and I got a little bit of garlic here. Garlic is good too, but not too much. So I'm going to cover it. Come on. Yeah, that's it. Heavy. And I'm going to bring it to a very gentle simmer. You don't want it to boil, you want it to simmer gently and slowly. As soon as it simmers, I'm going to transfer it on the smallest burner and set it on lowest level or come on.
So I will set it to the lowest.
I'm going to set the burner on the lowest setting and I'm going to let it simmer for at least 8 hours. 20 is ideal, so basically I'm going to let it sit overnight and then when I'm at school, so I'm going to let it simmer for 20 hours. But very slowly, you don't want a full boil, you really want just slow simmer like blub blub, blub blub, blub blub. You will for at least 8, ideally 20 hours. Don't worry about energy much because really smallest burner, lowest setting or near it, it's not going to consume much. And you only do this few times a year. So that's about it. See you when it's done. Believe it, believe it or not, it has been 24 hours. And yes, I'm wearing the same t-shirt, don't judge me. So now it's more or less finished. So let's take a look. We can see the color. This is wonderful. This is very nice amber color. Now if you want it to be more brown, you just brown the bones and meat more. But I like this. I think this is perfect. No, it took almost 24 hours, but just look at it. This is amazing. So now I'm going to take out all the vegetables and meat while it's still hot. Now I'm using sieve so I don't lose any more fluid than it's absolutely necessary. But vegetable is basically to throw out because it's been in there so long, it is completely devoid of any taste or texture. If you don't believe me, you can try it. It just tastes like nothing. I even put in some Brussels sprouts just half an hour ago, just to get some nice boiled Brussels sprouts to go with my steak. So if there is one or two, don't be alarmed. I know you didn't see me put them in. So nothing goes to waste. It'd be a shame because this is amazing, maybe my best to date. Yeah, I'm getting better with every single batch. I perfected this for a long time. This is my pride and joy. By the way, this is amazing thing to eat / drink when you are ill, sick. You just heat it up, boil some noodles and vegetables in it. It will get you up on your feet so well that it's basically necromancy. About the meat, meat is bland and tasteless too, but I would feel sorry for throwing it away, so I'm going to freeze it, and later when I'm making something really spicy like curry, I'm going to put some of it in because it's still a good source of protein. Oh. So now I'm taking out the skeleton from the goose. You can see how completely the meat got boiled off, everything. It's all in this wonderful, rich fluid. That's what the beef bone broth is about, extraction. You want all the good stuff from meat, vegetables and bones to get in this fluid. And believe me, it's worth it. Well, I think I'm not going to bore you anymore. You see what you need to do. So I'm just going to say once every big solid piece is out, you just let it cool down so the fat layer on top of it solidifies, and then I'm going to show you what to do next, because we are still far from done. If you want to use it as ingredient and to store it for later in your freezer, but for now just let it cool down so the fat on top is solid. See you later again. Now the broth itself has cooled, but my camera guy left for a weekend, so I have to do this under improvised conditions, so excuse me moving around the camera. And also, if you can't understand me properly, that's because I managed to catch some flu in those 12 hours and my nose is stuffed at the moment. But other than that, the broth itself is great. You can take a look. I put it out for a few hours, so the fat on top got solid.
if you are making regular beef bone broth, it should happen on room temperature, but since I had some goose parts in it, the fat was actually semi-liquid even then, so I had to put it out in the cold for a few minutes, hours I mean. So now what you do is that you remove all the fat. Now mind you, do not throw it out. This is still very nutritionally valuable. There's plenty of nutrients, vitamins, minerals and so on so on. Since I'm planning to try my hand on steak kidney pie, I think I'm going to put some of it in there to make it juicy and succulent. So basically this is what you do, you carefully remove as much fat off the top as possible. Now if you are planning to make a soup out of it, you can even put some of it back in it, because I think soup tastes better when there's some fat floating in it. It's also more filling, more satisfying that way. Yeah, and now I am going to heat it up again, just a little bit. Definitely not to boil it, but I need to heat it up a bit because I'm about to filter it, and it's definitely better. It's way easier when the broth is a little bit warm. So I'll wait till it gets warmer and I'll be back with you. So it's heated up only a little, but that's all I need. So what you want to do now is you get some very super fine sieve, or ideally a cheesecloth, or even old white t-shirt, provided you boiled it first, and we filter the liquid through it, so we remove all the sediments. Well, you got the general idea, so there's really nothing more to say about this particular step. So once I'm done and it's cool again, because it needs to get cold again, I am going to show you how to wrap up the deal.
So now it's filtered mechanically, and we only need to clear up the cloudiness. So to make it really clear, you put in some eggshells. Now you can tear them up into these small pieces. You can save some to use for this, so a couple of eggshells will do. Definitely 1 or 2 egg whites, just whites, not whole egg. Yeah, like that. And only a little bit of minced beef Not a lot, like let's say 150 grams for this whole large batch. So not much. This will not only make the broth clear, but it will make it even stronger. So we have a really strong, really good bone broth. And now you basically, I can't find a lighter, but it doesn't matter. All you do now is that you heat it up, bring it to boil, and boil it for a few minutes, and it should become clear. When it's clear, yeah, once you can see the bottom, you just turn off the heat and wait for it to cool down. That's about it. I'll see you then. So, what have I done? Since I started to boil ground meat and eggs in it, I filtered it again the same way you saw already, and then I boiled it down. So it was like here, and now it's here. So come take a look. You know, so this is it. This is very concentrated. And really the only thing I'm going to do now is that I boiled it for 4 to 5 hours. So I boiled most of the water out of it. So this is really heavy concentrated. 1 spoon like this should be enough to make 1 cup of broth. You can dilute it again. So now what I do is I put it in this muffin form and put it in the freezer. So I have these kind of hockey pucks, and I can easily put those in mug or something and pour hot water from kettle over it, and voila, I got a broth. And frozen like this, it can be stored for up to, I'd say, a year. 6 months is for sure. For a year, not so sure, but reasonably sure. But trust me, if you cook often, it will be gone in 2 to 3 months. So that's really not a worry. I think I'm going to freeze only 1 form this time because I'm ill, and I'm going to use more of it now to get better as soon as possible. So this is beef bone broth. This is really as good as I can make it. This is my finest stuff. I try to be really, how to say, honest. I use no substitute. I did everything as well as possible, at least as I see it. So this should be really as good as it gets. So you can try it out and let me know. That's all, folks.